but I want to hear what your thoughts are, Sip, on the running back battle. You got 4 names, and obviously people have their own vote for who they'd want to see, but none of us really know much about these backs because you've seen Mackey Nelson or Mackay Nelson, and he played in the Las Vegas Bowl, looked really good. Outside of him, it's really unknown, and the potential isn't really known for any of these guys. So we're going to start off with Mackay Nelson's my assumption as the starter. And then from there, how's this running back battle unfold? Is it going to be running back by committee? Do guys all get opportunity? What are we thinking?
I'd caution you, Connor, right away to assume they're going to start with Mackay. I mean, I personally like the way Mackay runs more than any of them. I haven't seen Tyke Hayes, but I think it's a little more wide open to make any assumptions. I think it's a 3-man battle. Rule, Mackay Nelson, Isaiah Mosey. I can't believe that Tyke Hayes, the news broke about Tyke Hayes on July 15th. I just don't see it. It would be really difficult to come in and pass the guys, especially the sophomores, Nelson and Mosey, in August. I just don't. That's a lot to ask of it. It's not even a lot. I don't mean a lot to ask. I just don't. It'd be really difficult to do. So I think it's a 3-man battle. You also have Connor Booth and Quentin Ives, who you can't rule out. I just think generally it's a 3-man battle. What do you think, Adam?
I just remember when Gabe Ervin came in as a true freshman, and I don't recall if he was there in the spring, but he was the first ever Nebraska running back. Think about all the great running backs we've had. Phillips, Green, Rozier, Moore over the years. The first ever running back to start his first game as a true freshman. I didn't think we'd ever see that in Nebraska. And again, I don't remember if he was an early enrollee or not at this point. With Tyke Hayes, I get excited. Top 20 running back in the country, obviously went to Penn State, then the junior college, won a national championship, 4-star recruit, over 7,000 yards rushing, 99 career touchdowns, over 10 yards per carry. As a junior, was the player of the year in the state of Pennsylvania. Yeah, but he doesn't walk into a room without talent itself. Like you said, Isaiah Mosey, 4-star wide receiver, getting comfortable at running back now. If you just think 3-down back, maybe the best 3-down back, maybe the best all-around back. I don't know how good he is at picking up blitzes yet. With the ball in his hands, Mackay Nelson has the best explosive step, in my humble opinion. Yes, they even said that first touchdown run versus Utah, as great as Emmett was, he might not have gotten there. Okay,
might not have gotten there. Yeah.
I love Jamal Rule. He's the guy we're going to hear a lot about. Obviously, don't forget about Connor, Quentin Ives, and short yardage situations. Who knows what else beyond that? Man, it's not a room that lacks talent. Just nobody's proven yet. Who's going to step up and find what I call the C word, consistency? The hardest thing to find, I discovered when I was playing. I could come in on nickel. I could play once every 10 snaps and rush the quarterback, go off the field and do it again, not have to play the run. I thought it was great. All of a sudden, I'm a sophomore, and it's every freaking play, and now I got to read the run and the pass and a double team, and 65 plays later. I'm like, this is hard. And then I have to line up again and do it tomorrow and tomorrow. So consistency. Who can find consistency, or are there a couple guys that find consistency and maybe you can rotate some guys?
Well, you made a comment about Gabe Ervin coming in as a true freshman, starting right away. And I felt like that was a different era. Scott Frost was willing to start true freshmen. Obviously, Tristan Gebbia lost the job to Adrian Martinez, I think 3 years before. And then you had Ervin come in, start right away. Rule is a guy who's a program builder. Program builders, I assume, aren't trying to bring freshman guys off the bench and just put them in right away. He's trying to take the guys he's been developing for a long time. So my assumption is that the guys who've been in the room might have the edge. And that's why I lean to say Nelson or Mosey would get the start in the first game. But I am really interested to see how they manage the carries. Is it those first 3 games, everyone's going to get opportunity, and then you see who breaks out? I have to assume.
It's tricky, isn't it? I mean, it's a good thing. It's a good tricky to have that kind of room where you feel pretty good about 4, maybe 5 guys. Now, as far as this freshman conversation goes, the one thing that you have to take into account, if you listen to Rule, he makes it pretty clear. Playing that position at Nebraska's changed quite a bit, Adam and Connor. When Amon was young, Amon Green, Phillips, they didn't run many routes. They weren't going out and catching the ball much. And you know what? How much were they pass blocking? It wasn't intricate. I mean, now it is. It's a much more demanding position in a thinking manner. Like you have to understand what's going on. Pass protection is much more intricate now. So whoever it is has to handle it. Now, can Hayes come in and get all of that in his head? Can he learn it quickly? I don't know. Rule's just a true freshman, but at least he's been here. He's been here in the spring. I have no doubt that Mackay and Mosey can handle that stuff. Does that give them the leg up? The one thing I'd add is I did talk to, you guys, I'm a sports writer, so I play source game a little bit. And there was a pretty good source in Chicago who told me, watch, it'll be Mosey. Watch, he's leaning Mosey. I've heard that from two people that are pretty dialed in. So that got my attention.
There's one reason I would lean Mosey.
What's that?
So you've got a new quarterback who's in here. The scheme is going to change a little bit. You have a guy who's going to run around and try and find a guy who's an outlet in a worst case scenario. And if you're talking about a receiving back, I'm going to assume Mosey's the best one. If Mosey's the best receiving back, then you'd probably say he complements Calandria the best. If he complements him, that's the starter. And if he's the one who's out there running around, it turns into a discussion about what's this offense look like? Because last year there was a heavy run game. Dylan would hand it off a lot. Will it be the same vibe, or is Calandria going to be dumping it off to the running backs and they're going to be trying to catch the ball in space and get upfield? Could look a little different.
One thing I'd add, Adam, is I can tell you from talking to Scott Strohmeyer, who's the Iowa Western coach. I've talked to him a lot about Tyke Hayes. He's not a natural pass catcher. He's a great run blocker, though.
Yep.
He said he's a great run blocker. Doesn't catch the ball naturally. So it's Connor. That's Mosey obviously has an edge there. He's very natural. He's a receiver.
Yeah.
Came here as a receiver. And he looks beautiful catching it. The thing with Mosey is we saw it, Adam. I'm sure you saw it, Connor. In the spring game, he hammered it between the tackles.
Yeah.
I was telling Sean, look at Mosey. Now he's starting to look like a running back.
Yes.
And then Barthel was on our show and said, exactly, when he ran between the tackles in that game, I was jumping up and down on the sidelines. It said now he looks like a running back.
So Barthel even said he didn't view him as a running back yet, kind of until then. Dude, it's a different world in between those tackles than it is outside. It's a whole different world. Going from like when I would play end, all of a sudden to 3 technique or nose, then back out to where the space was at end. It was a whole different world out there. I can only imagine the difference for a running back. I wonder, I'm not predicting we're going to see this, but I wonder, do we see a particular starting running back game 1, a different one game 2, a different one game 3, and then we learn a whole lot more on the road at Michigan State in our first Big Ten contest about who the starting running back might actually be at that point?
Connor, what do you think?
I think that we're going to see it situational. I think that there's going to be different formations with different backs, and they're going to use each back and his strength in those formations. So if you have a running formation, they might go with the guy who gives them the best chance between the tackles. But if they're going to do something where Calandria is going to improvise, you've got to go with the guy who can catch the ball, because if you don't have the guy who can catch the ball, that's one less receiver on the field. So I'm going to guess that we see multiple running backs. That is going to lead to my hot take when we get to that. But I don't know.
Oh boy.
Well, it's like, you know what? It's a great battle in August. I mean, it's probably the position battle position battles. There's not as much of that as there used to be, but this is definitely one. Somebody's got to go out there, first. Somebody's kind of got to be first on the depth chart. So I don't know. Right now it's I'd say wide open.
I love the putting running backs in positions to use their strength. Like if it's an inside run, maybe it's Tyke